Alright, welcome back to Baldeykino, Farming Simulator 22. Our playthrough here on our little homestead, which is coming along pretty nicely, and there's quite a few things that are going on right now. Well, it's March, and we're planting. Last episode, finished planting these potatoes, found a great deal on a used potato harvester, which we'll need in August. Oh yeah, it was like 60% off. It'll need repairs and stuff. It's down at the shop. We picked up over there, picked up a corn planter, which we're fixing to use here once it ticks over to April. But before it does, yeah, we did a fertilizing contract. Well, we had to do a fertilizing contract to make the money to buy that used harvester. And we just planted these potatoes. Now I'd like to get them fertilized. I'd like to get one more layer of fertilization down. We should be able to do that, yeah, because we just planted them, so we should be able to throw down some fertilizer before they start sprouting, because this tractor would certainly crush the little potato sprouts. Well, it would. And that tractor down there, I'm not sure yet if its tires count as narrow or not. On the settings I currently have in the game, the way I have things set is that narrow tires and only narrow tires will not crush a crop even in the first month of growth, and after that even they will crush it. So, and have it set as immersive as possible. So I'll have to check and see, narrow though those tires are on that tractor over there, do they count as narrow tires? Not quite sure. Regardless, fertilizer here. Some of our fertilizer is down at the store, because upon taking that fertilizing contract, I had to use our own fertilizer for the contract, so I took a bunch down there not knowing how much I would need, because I couldn't afford to buy it, because, yeah, I had to do the contract to make the money, but the fertilizer was going to cost a chunk of the contract. Used our fertilizer, and what's left over that we didn't use is down at the store, but there is some here. I'd like to put it on the potatoes. First, yeah, so there's a few things I want to do here. A couple things I want to do in March yet before we roll over to April. Our spreader here is currently filled with lime, so we need to get the lime out and get fertilizer in it. We've got some fertilizer here. Yeah, we've got enough. We've got enough to do the potato field. That said, the fertilizer, some of it at the store, we already have loaded onto our trailer that we can bring back, but there's farm implements down there that we need back here more. I'd like to get them, here actually on our property. So let's see, we've got a lot of lime in here. Oh yeah, because I bought a bunch of lime to refill what we took from the building down there, and then still quite a bit here. So let's get somewhere, let's drop this off somewhere where we can retrieve it, offload this into pallets, big bags there, 2 big bags of lime. I'll come get that, and let's dump what fertilizer we can in here. Should be a couple bucket loads, and it should definitely be enough. We just have this small potato field. Yeah, let's just hop in this tractor here. We'll just grab a couple scoops of fertilizer, bit of jockeying stuff around, and then well, once we move into April, we can go plant our corn with our new corn planter. So we'll have the corn field and the potato field. Make pig feed. All right, looks like we only got just, well, looks like we just got 1 bucket full of fertilizer here. Well, yeah, I can always, the car is already loaded down at the store. I can always, wow, we had exactly a bucket load? How often does that happen? Figure the math on that. Well, the thing is, I dumped that there out of a tipper, so that's just pure chance that it happened to be a bucket load. Had I dumped, say, 4 buckets there, it would make sense. There would be exactly a bucket. But no, I dumped that out of a tipper. So, well, anyway. Oh, I'm stupid. I loaded the tipper with the bucket. That makes sense then. Makes sense. All right, so this is all we got. This might be enough for the field, though. If it's not, the car's already loaded. We can run it up. I always try to put the bucket down. It's just out of habit. That way you don't freaking catch your knee on it when you walk it by or something. Anyway, let's see here. Well, that's mostly goes with forks, but I'm so used to putting forks down, I just put buckets down too. All right, let's see if this is enough. It may be. You think we can run this in just one pass? I don't know. Well, let me think. How wide do I think this is? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I estimated this field at about 20 meters wide. Yeah, I estimated this I estimated this field at about 19, 20 meters wide. It was a mental note I made when I made the field. So this might cover it. This says the working width is 20 meters, so this might just cover it. If we're lucky. If we're not lucky, then we're going to have one narrow strip on each side. So let's hope for luck here. Oh, and luck is on our side for the most part. One tiny strip there. Let's see if I can trim that out. We'll see. It's not worth worrying about. Now I get on the other side. Wow. Well, it looks like my estimation was correct. It feels right about 20 meters wide. Well, 21. So. And besides that, we have more than enough fertilizer. That is good. Stuff's expensive, as I found out last episode when we went to do that contract. Fertilizer cost is not usually something I worry about, but we're still kind of in the startup phase of this farm, really. And, whoops, I don't want to run over that field. And fertilizer being about $2,000 per 1,000 liters seems expensive all of a sudden when we don't have much to work with. Let's see how our fertilization looks here. That is, yeah, just one missing strip. It's not even worth worrying about. So I try to put in game tips whenever I can, and one of those tips would be, because I had one last, I try to every episode when I can. You see that little missing strip, and you think, oh, I should go get that. It's not worth it. Well, first of all, you wouldn't in real life, would you? And second of all, if I had precision farming on, it wouldn't even let me put fertilizer there. It would register it as fertilized. So that tells me if the game registers that as fertilized with precision farming on, then it's fertilized. So there's a pro tip for you, farming simulator tip. Anywho, all right, so we had enough. Didn't have to go to the store. Well, we got to go there anyway to get equipment, but at some point, but we didn't have to go down there and run the car back just yet. We do have this lime over here. We don't need it right now. I can stuff it away for the moment, for the time being. Let's go ahead and put our spreader back in the garage. All right, so we're not going to need that for right now. We can close this up. Let's get that lime picked up, and we'll put it. I've got that open bay there, but we're going to put, when I get that fertilizer home, we're going to stow it in there. So we can put the lime under here somewhere, like by this cedar or something. The cedar and planter we won't be using. No, I don't see using it anytime in the next few months, unless we get another field. So just drop the bucket off here by the seeds. And then I believe I left our forks down over here. Yep. Everything kind of has a place now. We kind of got a place for everything, kind of getting there. And I thought of one way we can make money. I was thinking ways we can make money. Well, we have several acres of grass, and we have a mower. You know, when you're thinking of creative ways to make money, if there's no contracts or other work that could be done, there's always work that could be done. We can find work. Well, one way we could find work is we've got grass and we've got a mower. What we don't have is a baler. However, I'm sure the collective farm has a bunker silo we can use. If they have space, we might be able to sell silage. It's possible. You know, that's easily overlooked. When you're looking for ways to make money, it's often easy to overlook the fact that, well, let's pick these up from the wide side. It's often easy to overlook that your farming yard is made of a crop that can be harvested and sold. You know what I mean? So, that grows back. You know, there is that. And I'll tuck these. Oh, yeah, I'll tuck them by the cedar for now. I don't know when we'll need these. Well, we won't need these until we make a new field. So I'm actually going to put them behind the cedar, because I'll probably need that first. But, you know, you never know, but we'll put it back behind the cedar. don't want to leave these out here on the yard. Well, it looks bad, you know. It looks bad, and guaranteed at some point I'll probably run into them. So, better to get them up now. And I probably should have thought about putting a weight on the back of this. Well, I didn't want to take the time, but while I'm being a little bit heavy, I'll take this turn carefully. I didn't pick that one up so great, did I? Probably made a turn too fast or something. Alright. Just toss it down there. Alright, and so that's out of the way. What is next? Oh yeah, I guess it's time to plant our corn. Well, next month. Well, yeah, we're good to go into March then, because, or sorry, April. Yeah, let's tuck this tractor up under this, and we'll put the big one away. Get the big tractor put up, or at least just pull it under the roof here. Now, we shouldn't have to run any fertilizer over the corn once we get it planted, that is, because it's already got one stage of fertilization now, being a freshly plowed field, and the corn planter lays down fertilization. So we had to the potatoes because the planter, all it does is just plant. Our corn planter will fertilize. All right, time for, let's go into April. All right, a new month, new things that can be done. First, let's check the used equipment list and see if anything is... No, I mean, we have so little money anyway. It'd have to be something pretty specific. That would be nice right there, and that's actually affordable. I mean, not for us right now, but it could be. How wide is it? 3 meters? We've got a cultivator. We've got a 6-meter wide cultivator. As nice as that would be to have, it's not a necessity. Even if we had the money, I say save the money for something else. I would love to have a disc harrow, though. Well, I think it's time to plant then. Yeah, let's get on planting our corn. While we're at it, we'll check on the other crops. And, of course, oh yeah, new month, new contracts. There's more work that can be done around Baldeykino, I'm sure. Oh, I just pulled up the map. I was going to check contracts. I just pulled up the map, and you may have seen this, and if you were wondering, I'll just fill you in real quick. Why are there no rocks right here in this part of the fields? It's because by default on this map, this whole lot is completely empty. I built all of this, and we've been building this up over the time. Well, I leveled this area right here for the buildings. I leveled because I didn't know where the buildings were going to go exactly. So I kind of just leveled the land out, just kind of smoothed it out. One thing, there's one variable, and that is filling this with seeds. That's right. That was something I encountered last episode when I filled this with fertilizer. The way these compartments in this planter open, this could be tricky to fill with seeds. It might make a mess. I'm going to give it a try though. I think this is made to load directly off of the pallets, but as we don't have a pallet of seeds here, or room to turn it around, do we? Maybe. Yeah, this doesn't fold up. Oh yeah, this was fun getting home. Huh. You kind of need a pilot car to get this home. I'm gonna try to dump them in here with the shovel. This might have to be loaded off a pallet. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm prepared to make a mess because the seed compartments are in the rear. Yeah, how do you figure that's going to work, right? Well, very carefully with the bucket. I got to try. It's either that or go get a pallet of seeds, and I'm trying to avoid any costs that we can right now until we start getting money rolling in. You know, we still haven't had our first harvest yet, so farm is still in its infancy. And of course, it probably, I don't know how many, I don't know what its capacity for seeds is, so we may end up spilling seeds anyway. Let's see. Oh, it's, I'm just looking at those little tiny buckets. It's going to be, well, we're going to do it carefully. Very carefully. Normally, you'd want to hand fill them with a bag, but all right, let's see if we make a mess or if we fill them. Wow, I positioned the bucket pretty good, though. Well, there's none on the ground. So, I mean, there's that. But I don't see... Oh, yeah. No, it's in there. So let's just go slowly here. They're filling up. Oh, how about that? All right, so we can fill it that way. Let's see how much we got in there. Oh, wow. You know, sometimes things actually work. Usually on this farm, I've learned there's always something. Something always goes wrong. Well, that time, something worked. Excellent. All right. Well, let's get this out here to the field then, and let's get our corn planted. I am ecstatic that that worked. That was awesome. Now, this planter, normally this planter should attach with a 3-point. I have a hitch here in the middle. I found one of these cheap and used. Normally this planter attaches via 3-point. I don't like those because then every time you turn the wheels, it swivels the whole rear end, and it's hard to get good following, you know, with your planter when every time you turn the tractor, so like if you're, let's say you're like 1 meter from the edge of your field, so you turn towards the edge and then it swivels the planter away from the edge, and then I don't like that. I like to have a hitch connection. So we got this little hitch here so that we can tow it. It's very handy to have one of these. Hopefully it'll make planting easier. But it also means that, well, let's see, lowering it, yeah, we don't lower it with the tractor's hydraulics, we got to lower it with the, well, it's, I don't know, it says Volga on it, Volga 6000, so the Volga, I don't know what to call the thing. Oh, look at that, our wheat is actually almost taller than the grass. No, it's kind of taller than the grass now. You can actually distinguish it from the grass. All right, so we're gonna have to be careful with the headroom on this field. Yeah, this field to my left, it's kind of, need to relocate it or something. It's getting trampled a lot because I might see if I can do, let's do a north-south run, and then I might see if I can trim off the bottom headland of this field a little bit. But let's go ahead and get our corn planted. Make sure that we're set to corn. We are. All right. Finally getting some good work done. And I didn't even have to make 2 trips to town to do it. Seems like everything I've tried to get done recently, we've had to make a trip. Like last episode, we had that fertilizing contract, which was handily enough right next to the store where our rental equipment was. But then I realized the fertilizer was too expensive and we'd have to come all the way back to the house to get fertilizer. So I still had to end up driving to town and back. Well, this is working out for us. Getting corn planted. And that should give us a full fertilization state. Yes, indeed. It needs rolling, but we have our own roller now. We found one used. It's down at the shop. But we do have a roller. So I'm going to run this south, and then I'm going to take off the southern headland a couple rows so we don't run into the wheat field with this. Once I start a row, I don't like to deviate because I've got my tractor set straight. So if I adjust the width of this row, then I got to, yeah. So we're just going to overlap a little bit here, and then nice little planter I got us though. Old equipment. Hey, old equipment is affordable. And it works until, we can get the farm up off the ground, get real money rolling in from our pig business. Oh, I just noticed our little potatoes have sprouted. I mean, of course, that's what happens after a month, but yeah. It's like, hey, we got little potato sprouts. That's good. I like that. I always wanted to have a potato farm. I got to be honest, potatoes, not something I've gotten into a lot here. So it's good to have yeah, let's run this a little bit. Make sure I get as much as I can there. And let's Let's see here. How's that gonna? There we go. I was just trying to hooked it a little too much, but let's just make it a little easier on us to turn around. Gives a little more room here. So we'll have corn to harvest later this year, this fall. That's going to be great when all this starts coming together and our, we got enough fields and we can always make more fields. I'd like to get it, we'll be at the point where we got something to harvest or plant every month. Though technically we have plenty to do because there's always contract work, and not just contract work we can do for my uncle's farm. I like to think I got these fields about the right size. We'll see. Now that wheat field there, that little strip of a wheat field, that was the second field we made here. And remember, if you recall, many episodes ago, all we had was the little tractor and a 3-meter plow. But now with this guy, you know what? I don't see why we can't, combine these two fields here. But I was thinking when I mentioned size, the size of this cornfield, I'm hoping matches with the size of that potato field. Now that is not even an estimation or a guesstimation. It's just a wild guess. It was just, so I don't know. Potatoes are so much higher yield. That said, corn is pretty high yield for among the other kinds of crops, but nothing like potatoes. Potatoes are so high yield. Much smaller field is needed, and I don't know what the ratio is for the pig feed, so it's all a guess. I was hoping that narrow potato field would go with this cornfield. We'll see when the time rolls around. I can actually go a little bit more, but I already got the tractor set, so... Oh, no, actually it looks pretty good. Yeah, that's a good row. Well, we're going to have a few more rows of corn, but may as well have a look at this. So that contract pays $14,000. I could use that. Every little bit helps. You can always check with the collective farm, see if they need any help. I know that Uncle Pete, he's got that farm across the road, that field. I haven't seen what other fields he owns. I'd have to drive around and check. Well, I could ask him. But, I'd have to drive around and check, basically. When we get up here, I'll run over there and see what he's got going there this year. Let's see. I was trying to get to the end of this. I didn't want to overrun the end of this row and run into our wheat. So he's got sorghum planted there. What's his... he has no fertilizer down. Yeah, I wonder if... I don't know. He might need help with that. Who knows? He's probably got it covered, though. See all the places I've already run into this field. This is such a great tractor. I still remember, it was many episodes ago, I still remember how proud I was when I got this tractor. It was so awesome. I just wanted to sit in it. I just wanted to sit in it all day. It's a great tractor. It's nice. It sounds nice from the inside, too. Yeah, really nice tractor. But it's easier to work from out here. That should make a good row. No, I missed a little bit. Let's jog it over. There we go. I instantly fell in love with this tractor. And I already know, there's basically a larger version of this. It's the larger model. When we get enough money, I'd love to invest in one of those. I like Belarus tractors. What can I say? Well, in the right conditions, I like every tractor. I could like any tractor. It so happens that we started with a Belarus tractor, and this was an affordable, medium-sized. And the 3522 would be an affordable upgrade to this, given, another 150 grand or so. Well, it's going to take a minute to get these rows in, that's for sure. It is going fast, but it is also a much bigger field than the potato field. And I may have to make a run and get us some more fertilizer. Well, it's already loaded up on the car and waiting to run back. Here, once I do a little bit more, it'd make for a decent, you know, take a break, go down to the store. Let's see. The car's at the store with fertilizer on the trailer. See, I would like to bring back a piece of equipment because we've got a roller down there and maybe something else, and there's a harvester attachment down there, which we can't bring back until we have a harvester. But yeah, that was something that was on sale, used on sale. I knew we were going to need it, so I went ahead and got it. I didn't necessarily know what harvester we were going to get, but I guess I do now. The attachment is for, luckily, the most affordable harvester on the market here in this area, so I guess we're getting that harvester. I mean, that works out. Again, more used equipment. It's a 1980 something. The harvester will be Rostelmash harvester. But until we can afford big brand new stuff, it'll be fine, especially for these fields. Yeah. We're going to do a unique kind of harvesting. Higher yield. It yields more. My uncle and the farmers around here do swath style harvesting, and I'm going to use that to get higher yield out of what we're farming here. Yeah, you know, I like this little planter. Now, this planter would, again, you know, this planter would annoy the hell out of me if it was attached directly to my 3-point, but with a hitched trailer in between, it works nice. See, I like to be able to, you know, tow it, especially when you're working with an irregular shaped field, which we're not, but if we were working in a regular shaped field, there's no way I'm using any implements that are not towed behind the tractor. That I totally forgot is, yeah, we could be leaving tram lines or whatever you call them. Well, this would go just a little, it could go a little bit faster this way. I was just running this down the field and I was like, oh yeah, this thing has ridge markers. Now, do we have enough room to turn around? Yeah. We do. And, well, forget that. That threw me off. Alright, so we got to line up the ridge marker with the driver's side wheel. See, I did that specifically because it was going to make it easier. And all it's doing is giving me a rut to drive through. An off-center rut. Well, we'll try it on the north end. I had to pick it up quickly, so I didn't drag it through the crop. I had to pick it up quickly and then slow the tractor and turn around before I hit the wheat field. We'll have more room up here. But we got to stop and add some fertilizer first. Hey, I thought the ridge line was going to make it easier, but not that time it didn't. Oh, yeah, so here comes our trip to the store for fertilizer then, I guess. Let's lay a line here and see if it works better this time around. All right, so fertilizer. So should we just pull the car, drive the car up from there? I guess so. I guess I should just get the car. It's already preloaded. I mean, yeah, the only other option is to drive this thing down there and fill it. And no thank you. Driving this thing down the road? Nah, you don't want to do that. So I'm going to get this positioned in a good spot where we can get to it. That'll be fine. We need to put in, yeah, once again, we'll have to be tricky loading the fertilizer. It's going to be the same as with the seeds. All right, I'm going to catch a ride down to the store, and we're going to bring some fertilizer back. All right, and this was preloaded. Well, I loaded it. Let's see, how is that weight affecting the car? Yeah, I should be fine because we've got a trailer evenly loaded. It should be okay. I'll drive carefully, though. And this is enough fertilizer to finish the job. Well, yeah, more than enough. Alright, here's where we find out if it's affecting our weight distribution. Nope. Truck is tracking just fine. Last episode when I loaded that... no, it was a couple episodes ago when I loaded the... I was taking the... Oh... the ice or the road salt or whatever down to the collective farm, and I loaded it in the back of the Gazelle. I loaded it behind the axle at first. Yeah, that was a mistake. Alright, I gotta keep this a little slow because it was kind of squirreling on me there for a minute. But I'll get this back to the farm and we'll get this loaded into the planter. Alright, take the turn carefully because I'm pretty sure the trailer weighs more than the car right now. You know, it just occurred to me as I'm driving home, I could have probably fit a third pallet in the back of the truck. Maybe if I got creative with it. You know, I didn't even think about that. And while I was looking in the back of the truck, I almost drove into our wheat field. Yeah, I should see. I mean, it couldn't hurt while we're here. While we're here, and while we're moving those pallets with the fork, I should pull the truck up and see, so I know ahead of time if we can fit a pallet back there, because that would be super handy knowledge to have. When I started this farm, this truck was pretty much the only thing I had to my name, and I'd like to see it put to more use if we could haul pallets with it. I don't know, we'll see here. Let's unstrap these. Let's drop that off. And let's just, I'll pull it beside there, and when I'm moving them, I'll just have a little look and see. I like this little truck. It'd be great if we could serve it. Well, it does serve a purpose. It pulls a trailer, but you know. I'll see if I can fit one back there. You never know. For reference. And we need to get the forks back on this. Oh, which reminds me, yeah, we don't have to load it the weird way. That's true. No, we can just load that off the pallets. Yeah, we have pallets now. Remember what I was saying earlier, that things made to be loaded off the pallets, not loaded with a shovel. Great, so I'm just going to see if I can fit one of these. Well, as long as I've got the forks, I'll just use the forks to do it. But, there we go. All right, just out of curiosity, will this fit in the back of our little pickup? I think if I absolutely had to make a trip from town and I had no other way... Oh, come on, tractor. I think it could be done. Like set it up on the side rails or something. Oh, actually, once again, my depth perception is off. That might fit in there. Just one of those curiosity things I must know. Yeah, you know, on top of the fender wells. But yeah, check that out. Check that little car out being useful. All right. Yeah, just barely. All right, well, let's get this loaded into the planter. Whoa! Trying to get it back on the forks here. Now, it doesn't want to slide in the forks. All right, well, it's good enough. Let's get this loaded into the planter. Yeah, you know, I'm not really pulling much of this tractor anymore. I mostly use it to load stuff. Yeah, you know, that's a good question. And while we're right here, and we have a heavy load on the front, and we have a weight literally right here, let's pick it up. Being as this tractor is mostly being used for this now. That's going to help out a little bit. That adds about another, I think it's about maybe 900 kilograms or so, something. It'll help. Alright. This should be easier than with a bucket. Gotta be. And it won't overflow into the ground is, of course, the other bonus of that. Now the rest of this can go in the shed. Or, better yet, for now, let's put it outside, somewhere where you can pull up and use it from the... I want to be able to pull up alongside it and use it right from the pallet. I mean, that would be ideal, would it not? We can put it here. Yeah. Behind the cultivator, because we don't need to get behind the cultivator for anything. And then we can finish getting our field planted. Actually, we can now. I can get to this later. I can clean up the other pallet of fertilizer later. For now, we've got everything we need to finish planting this field. We should have enough seeds. Now, let's see if I can use the ridge line I left last time more better. Or I kind of had it. It's not really too hard to see anyway where to line up the planter. I just thought as long as we have ridge markers, let's use them. But the last time didn't turn out to be so handy, except make a big rut for my tires to get stuck in. Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna... Exactly, yeah. I'm going to run without it. It's more trouble than it's worth and leaves a big rut for me to drive in. And then going this way, going south down the field, I want to make sure to pick up the ridge marker before we hit where I did the headlands, lest I leave a big rut right through my crop. So looks like 2 more rows after this, and we got our corn planted. Sweet, and it's done. Oh, except for rolling. That's right. We got to get a roller down from the dealership. Oh, I forgot to look to see what else was down there while we were there. I thought there was something else aside from the harvester header. And with the corn planted, boy, it's like, what else do we have to do? I guess find other paying work. I may decide to make a new field here. We've still got room on our farm. Ideally, you know, as much of it should be field as possible, right? You know, to maximize profits. I'm looking forward to the time of year when we can take harvesting contracts, because harvesting contracts, you know, those are the ones that pay. Like, what was that last one we did? Soybeans, and it paid... I forget what it paid, but we made double because we were able to sell what we didn't need for the contract or keep for ourselves. Harvesting contracts are just, they're fun because I love harvesting, and they're just bountiful in every way that a harvest is. All right, one more row here. You know, one thing I've probably mentioned before, I gotta say, one thing I love about Baldeykino is I love the grass on this map. The grass is all like meadow grass. It's all like long, and it bends over when you drive over it. Not every map has cool grass like this. Definitely not. I love the grass here. I was thinking about that because when you watch from a distance, you can see like the wake of bent grass that you leave as you go. All right, and yeah, this completes our cornfield. I love having a cornfield. I said it last series in Big Flats, Texas. I'll say it again. I love cornfields. I grew up surrounded by cornfields, so I just maybe I could surround the house with another cornfield. I like being surrounded by corn. It's cool. Well, I don't know. Cornfields to me say agriculture. That and silos. Yeah, silos. I would like to get some kind of silo system here. I really want to look into that. I'm going to have a look at what can be done about that. Because you notice we have our garage, 2 bays in our garage. One has seeds, one has fertilizer, right? We got a pile of grass over there. I would like to look at some kind of silo system. We don't have anywhere near the money to construct one, and even if we did, it'd be better spent on land or something else. So I'm going to look into all of this. We've already done a lot. with the land that we were given to work on from the beginning, you know. All right. Now all that needs is good rolling for the best yield. Now where I had this behind the house, but yeah, another shed would be great with the equipment we have now. That grass has got to go. If I had a baler or something, yeah, but I don't. Well, let's put this somewhere. Well, you know what? Our dump truck doesn't have to be right here. Is it still full of mud? Now it's got some mud in it. It's an old truck full of mud. Does it really need to be parked in a covered area? I don't think so. I mean, it's not exactly a top priority for this guy. We can park him over here. Well, yeah, where our pickup truck isn't here, so... Oh, actually, it is. Well, there's room for 2 cars here. Here, let's park this on the outside. Let me park the pickup on the inside. There we go. Got to make room for new stuff. Yeah, let's... I'll deal with this when I move that. How much is in there? Some. Half. It's like... Well, no, it's like a quarter full. Well, we got room to park the planter now. Too bad it doesn't fold up, but it doesn't. Oh, got a little bit of a hill here. Yeah, you guys got any ideas on where we could put buildings or like how? You know, it's always a thing. See, right now, this looks like a decently established farmyard. But, whoops. But, I disconnected the wrong... There we go. I think it looks like a decently established farmyard. But the thing is, when I came here, this was nothing but an empty lot. And I had to look at this a lot. Because when you got it just a blank slate, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to figure out where am I going to put the buildings? Where would they look good? Because once you put them down, that's it. You can take them back up. But... they deform the ground and move. I don't know, you know, it's like I don't have that blank slate anymore. It's almost like it's kind of like the phenomenon of writer's block, you know. It's like having a big empty page. What do I write first? We've got these buildings here, so we got a format started here, which is great. So give me if you guys got any ideas where we could put more buildings, what should be next. I might kind of take some time and draw up like a map of where we could put other stuff. Alright, so that's put away. I guess for now, I should go grab the roller that's down at the store. And this is the fastest vehicle we have to retrieve it with. So, I'll meet you guys down at the store. Actually, on the way to the store, I'm just looking right here thinking, remember we saw that this has got sorghum planted on it. And it's not fertilized yet. Well, I bet he just planted the sorghum this month. I bet next month... he'll have an open contract for fertilization. And of course, we got dibs in that contract. He's my uncle, after all. We got dibs in the contract for that field. I bet you next month there'll be a fertilizing contract there. And that's, well, of course, then there's that. We got to pay for the fertilizer. Yeah, but he's my uncle. That's true. That is a win-win workaround. He's not going to make us pay for fertilizer. He'll provide it. So, yeah, I'm betting about $100 that he opens a contract for that next month and that we can get dibs on it. It should pay decent, given the size of the field. It's what, 11 and almost 12 hectares, I think. It's a bit of work, but I'm not going to turn down family for a job, and especially one that pays well, so we'll have to see about that. That won't be till May, though. Or maybe later in April. I'll keep my eyes open. Anyway, I just had that thought on the way to the store. Meet you guys down there. All right, here we are at the store. Oh yeah, there was one more thing to pick up here. Of course, the potato harvester. We won't need that until August, but that is down here at the store. Here is our roller. I believe I've already repaired it. It was very well used when we bought it. I think I repaired it. Let's see. I guess it can't hurt to whip around to the shop and make sure. My repair bar didn't go down over there when I hitched it. That doesn't necessarily mean anything by itself. Yeah. All right, we could have got, so we got this. Oh yeah, we still got fertilizer down here to pick up. So we got this at, I think it's 6.5 meter working width. We could have gotten it at 8 meters, but it was going to cost $3,000 more for that extra 2 meters, and nah, I couldn't afford that. But still, this should get our cornfield done pretty good time. So I'll meet you guys back at the farm, and we'll get that all done, and we're going to be set, and hopefully set enough that we can take on some work for Uncle Pete and make some good money. All right, so we're back at the farm with our roller, and I had a thought. I think I'll just give him a call, and before he opens a contract on that, I'll just give him a call and offer to fertilize that for him for a fair wage, of course. I know, it's like he gave us this land and etc., but we have ways to give back. Well, for instance, doing a lot of work on this farm, and if he needs it on that field as well. Let's try not to run into our wheat field. Oh, we didn't. Good. Yeah, I should have positioned myself to take off some headland first. Let's get this set about here or so. All right, now I'm going to get this done. Guys, thanks so much for joining me for another episode here, Farming in Siberia, on the map of Baldeykino and Farming Simulator 22. Making a lot of real progress here. The more I look around our farm, the more I see it's actually becoming like a real farm. And yeah, I'm going to offer to do some more work on the field there south of us. That should pay pretty well. We'll see how that goes. If they need help there, he's got other fields. I might see track down what other kind of work they have. They might have their hands full with other stuff. I don't know. And we can do some work there. It's also so convenient because it's right across the street from our farm. I'll see about that. Well, anyway, thanks for joining me today, guys. And I'll catch back up with you later this month or in May, probably later this month. All right, guys. Until next time, see you then.